If you've got a nice Mk2 Ford Kuga like this, there's every chance you've got a centre console unit like this. This centre console unit provides Ford's basic Ford Sync, which is a CD radio with integration for mobile so that you can make and receive calls while driving. If, like us, you're unlucky, a weakness between the Bluetooth module and the stereo causes mid-call the stereo to fritz out quite spectacularly and permanently, killing all audio inside the car thereafter, which includes the rear parking beeps. Very frustrating. Leaves you with three options. One, put up with it, which is what we've done for quite some time. Two, replace the stereo, but what stereo is in there to buy off of eBay or wherever else? And three, upgrade it. Given the original functionality wasn't really that great, I think upgrading it is probably the best thing to do. So that's what we're going to do, hopefully finding out a little bit about the stereo that's in there as we do it, and solving the problem of having no audio inside the car. One other note about this Bluetooth radio fault is once the Sony radio in there has failed, you might suffer a problem that certainly we suffered, whereby when the car is switched off, the stereo doesn't actually shut down. It stays on for 10 to 15 minutes, drawing 1 amp continuously out of the battery. Obviously a fault. It kills the battery in the car about once every 3 days, which was mystifying to begin with, but once we realised it was related to the radio, that was another reason why, frankly, it had to go. Well packaged and internationally shipped by FedEx from BELSEE Direct, this is what you get. Let's unbox it. Top hood for the dashboard, nicely finished. Screen and control bezel. Cables, which no doubt we'll have fun with later on. CD DVD unit. And screen. Alright, so with the dashboard taken apart, these connectors removed, like this. This was the back of the outgoing unit, and importantly, there's the details of what it was. This thing is a pig to come off. To get rid of it, turn it 90 degrees like this and pull this pin with these two flanges out of that slot. Alright, it can't be overstated that there are a lot of cables here, and that's not the same as what you see once you've removed the radio.
but there are some things that can help, and I think I'd definitely recommend laying this out on a table and working it out before you get in the car with it. So first things first, when you remove the protective strip over the DVD player, it reveals a cable map. And the cable map's really useful, actually. It's really useful in that it shows you how the different connectors plug into the different sockets, and also how the big bulk connector connects in. When you unpack the rest of the kit, you've got your GPS module, and that obviously goes on there. There's a little cable for the antenna that plugs in here. You've then got your cables that will plug into the car. There's the Ford Sync cable there, and there's another one over here like this. But there's some interconnection that needs to happen, and that's probably the next bit to consider. Where this USB lead comes out, there are two long leads that come up to the top. One of them is labelled car Android input, and that seems to go into the actual headset there. Secondly, from the head unit up here, there is, no, not from there, from here there is a bulk connector here which has two of these audio inputs that connects around. These are audio out, audio in, straight back in through this brown connector here. Anything else? Unpack the little speaker, that seems to connect in there, and I think that's it. The only other point of note is for the Ford Kuga, this large bundle of wires, which seems to connect out to various speakers, front and rear, etc., there is no connector inside the car like that, so you probably want to remove that, which is very tight. I'll do that later. Having laid it out and connected it up on the table, I'd strongly advise bringing it out and laying it onto the car, connecting it to the car to check everything works. Specifically, there were the two large connectors, one from the car, one from the sync, that needed to be connected. There's the antenna that connects into the extender lead that goes into the antenna hole. And then there's this gold cable which will, I guess, run up the side, and it connects to the connector up at the top that used to connect into your original fascia unit. With everything connected, the next step is to test it. Okay, so the dash comes up, we can see that. Let's test where the doors register. They do. Okay. All right. Can I change the temperature? Yep. So that shows on the side there. That's good. And if I increase temperature, so car controls are working. We can look at the apps and just make sure that the system is functioning. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's good. And we should probably try to determine whether the music works. So plugging in a DVD, feeding it into the unit. Let's see if this starts. Do we have sound? Looks like we do, so that's good. Do all the testing that you can before you start putting it into the car. Alright, so just an additional note here. So there are two yellow video leads. One is video in, it says here, and then there is another which is purple, goes into this little white connector here that says cam in. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. Well, I'm intending on installing extra functionality. I'm going to install a reversing camera, and so I just thought I'd hook up the kit all the way down to the reversing camera, which I have here, and I'm providing power from 12 volts from the lighter using a special connector that came with the camera. If I, let's try and do this with all my hands, if I clutch out and put it into reverse, sure enough, that camera provides, if I can juggle this, that camera provides the view that I need. So I know that that works, and I know that the purple connector is the one that I needed for the reversing camera. Eventually you'll get the unit in with the cables stowed beneath. A couple of points I noted was I never found somewhere to plug this brown connector in that came from this unit here. Also, I was able to route the USB, the spare USB lead, into the glove box through that little vent there, and the reversing camera also passes down there into the footwell at the moment. Over the back, I was able to put the GPS unit here. There's quite a lot of space behind the screen unit and the front of the car, and I'm just hoping that these cables that come down the side here and into there will be able to squeeze over enough so I can get the airflow units in. But so far so good. One point that I noted when I put this back together onto the car is that the BELSEE surround doesn't come with the metal clips that hold the surround in place. So you can put it on, but it'll come straight off. These clips you can salvage from the original unit where you've got loads of them. A pair of pliers gently pulling them apart slides them off of the plastic shroud and enables you to push them clean onto here.